Hey, it's Scott Weiss with Lessons on Leaving, your complete guide to funerals. Glad to be back here again. It's been a while since I've been able to do a video for you. We've had a big change take place and it kept me pretty occupied. I think it was George Patton that said one time that war is hell. And I think one notch below war has got to be moving. And so we've just spent the last few weeks moving, getting unpacked, getting unorganized, and I still do not have internet service in my home. We've kind of moved out into the country. This is my new backyard view, what you can see here behind me. So we're really excited to be out in a rural area, something we've wanted for a long time. And with that in mind, I wanted to talk to you today about something extremely cost-saving and something that rarely anyone thinks about or knows anything about, but that is getting your own family cemetery. Now, every state has different laws concerning what is required for you. But if you're out in the rural area, if you're in the country, you have a tremendous opportunity to save money, to do things the way you want to do them, not to be dictated by a city ordinance or a law of a rule of a cemetery or funeral home. You have a tremendous flexibility when it comes time to planning a funeral or doing a burial or whatever you want to do. And let me just tell you what the laws are in the state of Michigan and how easy it is. First of all, you have to not live in a town or a city or a village. So there's a lot of people who do not live in that town, city, or village who have property. And all you need to do is get a surveyor to come out to your property, survey how much of your acreage you want to designate as your family cemetery. You then take that information from the survey and you go to the county and you register it. And it's then approved as a permanent easement. Okay? A quarter of an acre can easily bury 400 people. I'm going very modest when I say that 1,600 people can be buried on an acre comfortably. So if you just would designate a quarter of an acre, like here we have 4 acres. So if we said, hey, we're going to get a family cemetery, we're going to designate 1/4 of that, we could easily bury 400 people, which would be generations if we wanted. Oh, well, wait a minute, what if you move? Oh, we don't want a spooky cemetery. Well, you got to get the mindset totally changed. Instead of thinking it's a negative, it's actually a tremendous positive. You go to sell your house and you say, hey, we have a family cemetery and you can use it as well for your family, and it just doesn't have to be your family. You can actually get neighbors involved. I have a friend who is in Missouri. He passed away. A family at a family cemetery. They offered a spot to him and his wife, even though, so he's buried there at no cost. A friend came over with a backhoe. I'm sure if you're in a rural area, a country, you know someone with a backhoe. If not, you can dig a grave by hand, and you don't have to worry about regulations from cemeteries as far as having a certain type of casket or a certain type of burial vault, a grave liner. It's a tremendous way. Now, I want to tell you, the average cost for a surveyor to come out and do his work on your property across the nation is only $300 to $500. So let's say you spend $400 to have a surveyor come out, and then you never have to buy a cemetery plot again. You or your loved ones or family members in the area. And of course, in any city, those are easily going to be over $1,000. And I think right now you cannot find a cemetery plot in the city of Denver for less than $4,000. So if you're in a rural area, you can just really save a lot of money. It's very easy to do. And again, if you contact me, ask me some questions, give me a comment here, I can look up in your area where you're located and tell you what it takes if you're in a country in order to get a part of your property designated as a family cemetery. So let's start thinking about it. If you're out there in the country, if you have relatives, you have a son or daughter or family in the country, bring up the conversation. Let's talk about death. Let's have more conversation about it so that you are more prepared when the time comes. Again, it's Scott Weiss with Lessons on Leaving. Glad to be back here talking to you again. Go ahead and like me on Facebook. Leave a comment. Ask a question. Go to scottveiss.com, lessonsonleaving.com. If you're seeing this on Facebook or YouTube, please subscribe to my newsletter. That's how I'm going to be able to reach more people. The more people are subscribed, the more people I can help. Great talking to you, and we'll see you next time.